This presentation will approach the subjects of e-commerce and Internet from Chapter 10.1 of Loudon's book. First, I will explain the concept of e-commerce and the overview of its evolution, followed by some of the key points of its distinction from previous technological revolutions. We'll also see some differences from this type of markets to the traditional ones, as well as present the concept of digital goods. Lastly, we'll look at practical examples of companies that base their businesses on e-commerce. The activity of e-commerce, meaning a set of digitally enabled transactions between organizations and individuals, began in 1995 as seen in the graph. This sector had an unpredictable growth of sales until the 2008-2009 recession, when this market got at a steady stage, which is remarkable compared to the sales reduction verified on the traditional market. Currently, it continues to grow and is predictable to remain that way, accounting for some of the main differences to the previous technological revolution. One of the main differences is ubiquity, resulting in a market space, which is a marketplace that is not temporarily or geographically bounded. This allows the reduction of customer transactions costs, since they are not obligated to move anywhere to access the product or service. It's also worth mentioning that the level of information density in this market space is relatively high, decreasing costs resultant from information collection, storage, accuracy, and suitability. Due to the ease to obtain information, there is a better price discrimination, as well as price and cost transparency. Personalization and customization imply that the message or product can be changed accordingly with customer past behavior, ultimately leading to an increment in sales. As a disadvantage of this market space, we can point out the increment on delayed gratification, since some of the times the product is not instantaneously available to the customer. The customer can also notice the effects from the lower menu costs, that is, the cost that the seller obtains from changing prices. Regarding the switching costs in e-commerce marketplaces, they are dependent on the type of products or services the company is exchanging between. Meanwhile, when selling the same goods in physical stores, the switching cost must be higher due to the changes of equipment or staff training. In e-commerce, we must consider the disintermediation effects that are favorable to the customer, leading to a price reduction. As mentioned in the previous slides, the use of Internet has expanded significantly in the last years and continues to do so. This has led to an increment of sales of products that can be delivered over this type of networks, as music tracks, books, or newspapers. Besides the advantages brought to the consumer, they also represent some advantages to the producers, distributors, and sellers, which are low cost of producing additional units. Distribution and storage costs are also low, since the products don't need to be physically stored or taken until the consumer, and the marketing costs frequently remain constant due to the simplicity of transmitting a message on online platforms. Since all the parties involved in the supply chain of this type of products have reasons to be more interested on the digital distribution channel, the sales of equivalent physical products are decreasing significantly. As an example of technological approaches on businesses, we can take Amazon's case, whose success can be owed to a policy in which customers' information is the main input, adapting the company to their preferences. They also maintain a creative approach, continuously conducting experiments and improvement organizational processes. These operations were mainly focused on customer experience in order to keep the good marketing generated by conversations between consumers. Contrarily, we can analyze Boo.com's failure that can be justified by the 2000s dot-com bubble, and the company has a fast expansion that wasn't accompanied by the funds raised. The failure of this firm is also justified by the bad user experience given by slow loads, for example.